This girl is named Joy. She has been confined to this small room for the past 7 years. A man kidnapped her 7 years ago and brought her here, keeping her captive and subjecting her to torture day after day. And over the past 7 years, he hasn't let Joy out of this room. The man who has kept her captive here only comes occasionally at night to stay with Joy. As a result, within a few days, Joy gives birth to a child, and the child's name is Jack. And today, Jack has turned 5 years old. Since birth, Jack has never stepped outside this room. He doesn't even know that there is an extraordinary world outside this room. There's light, air, countless types of animals, and plenty of people. On Jack's birthday, they will make a cake to celebrate. But because they lack the necessary ingredients, the cake doesn't turn out very well, which upsets Jack. The person who has kept them confined here actually brings them very little food, so they have limited choices. He comes here every night and brings the necessary supplies for them when he comes. When he leaves, he locks the door of this room with a code, which only he knows and no one else can open. Jack and his mother do all their tasks inside this room daily. Among these, they exercise and run around. One day, Jack starts playing with the rat he sees inside the room. But when his mother goes to hit it, Jack tells her, "Don't hurt it, Mom. It's my dog." But his mother tells him, "There are no dogs in the world, Jack. Everything is just imagination. We live in a space here. Apart from this room, there is nothing else. And even if we want to, we can't go outside this room because there's nothing beyond this room. Everything is nothingness." Then they start watching TV. At that time, Jack's mother tells him that what they see on TV is not real. They are all just imagination. None of this is true. Then one day, while they were having breakfast, Joy asked his son Jack, "Hey Jack, do you remember that rat?" Jack says, "Yes, I remember." Now his mother says, "Okay, now find out where it is. It's on the other side of this wall now." Jack then asks, "Which side?" "I haven't seen it on the other side of this wall, Mom. Is it outside the world?" Then his mother says, "No, Jack, on the other side of this wall, in this world. On the other side of this wall, there is another world, and that rat is there." Jack then says, "No, Mom, you're kidding. You told me we are in space." Joy then says, "I lied to you, Jack. I've never let you understand that we are on this earth, but today I'll tell you my story. When I was 17 years old, this man kidnapped me and brought me here, keeping me confined. And now we are in a room made with a shed in that man's garden, and he has kept us confined here in such a way that we can never escape from here, and only he knows the lock of this door." But Jack doesn't believe any of this. He says, "No, Mom, you're telling me a different story now. You always tell me different stories like this, but none of it is true. I don't believe you." Then Joy tells him, "Jack, today you must believe me because these are all true. You were very young back then. That's why I lied to you. But now you're grown up. You need to know the truth, Jack." Joy then tells him, "Okay, what do you think? Where does Old Nick get our food from?" "Old Nick is the name of the person who has kept us confined here." Then Jack says, "He gets it from the TV, from magic." Then his mother says, "No, Jack, he brings the food for us from outside. And what we see on TV, it's all true. They are like us humans, but they act to entertain us. Even though I told you they are magic. But nothing is magic. I've lied to you about everything." Joy wants to say something more, but Jack doesn't believe any of it. His mother tells him further, "What you see on TV, like tigers, bears, mermaids, trees, leaves, all of it is true." And just then, as she looks up, she notices a leaf has fallen from the skylight above. Joy then shows Jack the leaf and says, "Look, Jack, a leaf has fallen here from the tree above. Now you must believe this is true." But Jack says, "No, Mom, how can this be true? You said the leaves of the tree are green, but this one is different." Then Joy becomes disappointed and starts crying. She can't seem to make her son understand. The next day, Joy was cooking while Jack was sitting alone watching TV. Then he suddenly asks his mother, "Okay, then are tortoises real?" His mother responds with strong enthusiasm, "Yes, Jack, they are all true." Joy continues, "Sharks, tigers, rabbits, tortoises, they are all real." Just then, a cartoon scene comes on TV. Jack asks his mother, "Are these real?" Then his mother says, "No, these are drawings. Cartoons are made through drawing." Then gradually Jack starts believing everything. Then he tells his mother, "When old Nick comes again, I'll hit him with a stick and we'll escape from here." Then his mother says, "No, Jack, we won't be able to do that, because he brings us food inside this room, and only he knows the code to unlock the door of this room. So without him, we're in danger. We can never escape from here without him. So we need to think of something else." Then they both come up with a plan and start working accordingly. Joy-E heats water, and when Jack asks why, she says, "I'll try to warm your body with this hot water. When old Nick comes here, I'll tell him you're very sick and need to be taken to the hospital. Then, when he takes you to the hospital, you'll tell someone that you are in great danger and ask for help." Then she shows Jack a paper and says, "The first person you see, give him this paper and tell him to help us." I've written everything on this paper. After that, she warms Jack's body by applying hot water to his forehead. A few moments later, old Nick arrives, and Joy-E tells him, "Jack is very sick. He has had a high fever since yesterday." Then old Nick goes to see Jack, but Jack's mother prohibits him from doing so. But despite her prohibition, Nick doesn't listen. He puts his hand on Jack's forehead and says, "Indeed, his fever is rising." Then Joy-E pleads, "Please take my son to the doctor. If something happens to him, I won't survive." But old Nick refuses to take him to the doctor. He says, "I would rather come back tomorrow night and bring medicine with me." When Joy-E sees that her plan is failing, she requests old Nick a lot. But no request works. He leaves, and Joy-E becomes very disappointed. She starts crying, then they come up with a new plan, and according to that plan, they start working the next morning. Joy-E keeps Jack inside a carpet and teaches him how to come out from inside the carpet. She encourages Jack to use his strength to come out from inside. Since Jack is still very young, he gets scared of this task and starts resenting it. He becomes so frightened that he no longer wants to do it. And he tells his mother, "I hate you, Mom. I hate you." But his mother convinces him again to continue rolling inside the carpet and tells him that now he's going to act ignorant. Assume that you are not yourself now, so when old Nick takes you to a place, your job will be to live there and seek help from the first person you see and give them this paper. After that, Joy teaches Jack 3 steps: track, jump, and run. That means when the truck slows down a bit, he should jump out of it. That night, old Nick comes. Joy starts crying a lot as soon as he arrives. When old Nick asks him what happened, he says, "Because of you, my son died today. You didn't take him to the hospital." Hearing this, old Nick is a bit surprised and tells Joy that there's nothing more to do now. There needs to be an arrangement for this. After thinking for a while, he says, "I'll take him somewhere outside." He tells him to put him on a truck and throw him out. The vehicle starts moving, and Jack tries to get out from inside. At one point, he manages to get out from there, much like his training. But as he gets out, he is amazed at what he sees. It's the first time he's seeing the world. It's the first time he's outside that room. At first, he looks towards the sky. Then he sees everything outside. It's then that his mother's words come to his mind. Track, jump, run, somebody. Then, as soon as the truck slows down a bit, he jumps out from there. However, from behind, old Nick catches him and takes him back. Then, as Jack tries to escape, old Nick attempts to grab him. At that moment, Jack collides with a man along with a dog from the front, and he falls to the ground. Then, he cries out for help repeatedly. The man doesn't understand the situation and tries to shoo them away. However, seeing Jack's distress, a doubt arises within him. But when old Nick realizes the danger they're in, he quickly grabs Jack and takes him away with the truck. Then, he informs the police about the man. Then the police arrive and ask Jack for his name. The police gradually inquire about everything. Firstly, they ask him, "Do you have any other name?" Jack replies, "No." Then the female officer asks him, "Do you have any relatives?" Jack responds, "Yes, I have my mother." The police then ask for his mother's name, and Jack might recall her name. Then, the police ask him, "All right, where will you stay?" Initially, Jack says, "We used to live in space." Later, his mother's words come to his mind. He says, "No, we used to live in a small tin shed room on Earth." Then the woman asks, "All right, how was the room you stayed in? How many windows were there?" Jack says there were no windows. The police then inquired, "So how did light enter your room?" Jack responds, "Through a skylight." Then the woman police officer quickly grasps everything. She immediately calls another police officer and informs them. She asks to check the satellite map to see if there is a room with a skylight in this area. Within moments, they locate the room and rescue Jack from there. Hello friends, this is where the movie ends. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel.